You can buy a house in America right now for less than a used Honda. Not a fixer-upper, not a shell. A real house, walls, roof, driveway, sometimes even a backyard. Let that sit for a second, because on the surface, that sounds like a cheat code, like you found a loophole everyone else missed. But here's the part nobody says out loud: nobody sells something valuable that cheap. Unless there's a reason. And that reason, that's where things get uncomfortable. Because cheap doesn't always mean opportunity. Sometimes it means something already went wrong. Something structural, something economic, something slow, but permanent. And by the time you notice it, you're already there, living in it, adjusting to it, explaining it to yourself. So before you think you found a hidden gem, ask yourself this: are you buying a deal? Or are you inheriting a problem someone else already gave up on? Because in some towns, the lower the price, the higher the hidden cost. Not just money, time, safety, your future. And what they didn't tell you, you're about to understand. We're breaking down 13 places across America that look like bargains, but reveal something very different once you actually live there. And trust me, one of these will completely change how you see affordable. Number 13, first in Galesburg. Not exciting, not dangerous, just stable, tree-lined streets. Older homes with character. A quiet Midwest atmosphere that feels predictable. And the price. That's what pulls people in. Full houses here can still sit under $100,000. Which sounds like a win. Until you start asking better questions. Because Galesburg didn't collapse, it didn't crash, it didn't make headlines. It just slowed down. Population has been gradually declining for decades. Not fast enough to panic, but steady enough to matter. And here's the detail most people miss. A growing number of residents don't actually work in Galesburg. They commute out every day. That's not just a lifestyle choice. That's a signal, because when people have to leave to find opportunity, it means opportunity isn't there. And over time, that changes everything. Because you're not building momentum. You're maintaining position, and eventually you realize something uncomfortable. You didn't move forward. You just stayed. Number 12, find Clarksdale. Find Clarksdale feels different. It has energy, history, meaning. This is a place people travel to: music roots, cultural significance. A story that actually matters, and that should be enough. But it's not, because identity doesn't automatically create economy. And in Clarksdale, that gap is obvious. High poverty rates, low income levels, limited job opportunities. And the economy, it revolves around tourism. Which sounds good until you understand the pattern. People come, experience the culture, spend a little, then leave. The energy stays. The money doesn't. And here's the truth. Clarksdale monetized its past, but never scaled its future. So what you get is a place that feels alive, but doesn't grow. And that's the trap, because it doesn't feel broken, it feels meaningful. And meaningful places are the easiest ones to stay in too long. Number 11, Fontaine, Johnstown. Johnstown is built on survival. It's been through disaster, rebuilt itself, proved its resilience. And that story is real. But here's the problem. Survival doesn't equal growth. Because after everything it endured, the economy never fully recovered. Industries changed, population dropped, opportunities narrowed, and even with years of investment, momentum never returned. Because here's something most people don't realize. You can rebuild systems. You can rebuild structures, but momentum, that's harder. That comes from confidence, from opportunity, from belief that things are moving forward. And when that's missing, you feel it. Johnstown isn't collapsing, it's just not progressing, like it's waiting for something that never fully arrives. Number 10, Sovi Parum sells freedom. That's the pitch: cheap land, low taxes, minimal rules. The kind of place where you feel like you're finally in control. And for some people, that's exactly what they want. But then reality starts filling in the gaps. Because when regulation is low, so is structure. Infrastructure didn't grow with the population. Services are limited. Healthcare access requires travel. And here's the catch. Less government doesn't just remove restrictions, it removes support. So when something breaks, there's no system to catch you. You're responsible. And that changes the meaning of cheap. Because now you're not just buying property, you're managing risk every day. Number 9, Pine Bluff. Sivanplov shows what happens when decline becomes a pattern. Population dropped significantly. Crime rates remain high. Economic opportunities are limited. And everything connects. People leave Thivan tax base shrinks, services weaken, Huime increases. Sivantavin more people leave. That loop keeps running, and the longer it runs, the harder it becomes to stop. Because recovery needs momentum, and Pine Bluff, it's still trying to find it. This isn't a sudden collapse, it's a slow drain, and that's what makes it dangerous. Because you don't notice it immediately, you adjust to it. Number 8, Stefan El Centro Fuffent. This one looks like a loophole. Cheap housing in California. That alone feels like an opportunity. But then reality shows up. Unemployment rates are among the highest in the country. The economy depends on limited sectors. Extreme heat shapes daily life. And here's the truth, it's not cheap because it's efficient. It's cheap because opportunity is limited. And that's a very different equation. Because now you're not just buying a house, you're buying into a system that doesn't offer much upward movement. Number 7, Thuvan Kinston almost made a comeback. New businesses, growing attention, a sense of momentum. For a moment it worked, but it didn't last. Because growth wasn't supported by a strong system underneath. So now the city exists in contrast. One street feels alive, another feels paused. And that inconsistency creates uncertainty. Because you don't know which version of the city is real. Number 6, Stephen Gallup. Sivan Gallup is layered. Culturally rich, regionally important. But structurally complicated. Multiple systems overlap here: city, state, federal, tribal. And when systems overlap, coordination matters. But here, it's inconsistent. So progress feels uneven, delayed, fragmented. And over time, that becomes your daily experience. Number 5, Tifon Cairo. Cairo isn't just struggling. Its empty population collapsed dramatically. Entire neighborhoods are gone. Infrastructure hasn't kept up in decades. And here's the reality. When a city loses its tax base, it stops maintaining everything. It starts choosing what survives, what doesn't. And Cairo, a lot didn't. Number 4, Swine East St. Louis. 7. This is one of the most frustrating places on the list. Because opportunity is right there, across the river. Close enough to see, but not close enough to access fully. Decades of mismanagement created a gap that geography can't fix. So you live near opportunity, but not inside it. And that difference, it defines everything. Number 3, Thurston Blythe. Simple, cheap, quiet, accessible. But the environment changes everything. Extreme heat dominates life. Energy costs rise. Your routine adjusts around survival. And when your environment controls your day, it controls your options. Number 20, Youngstown. Fun. Youngstown lost its purpose. It was built around steel. When that disappeared, everything changed. The city adapted, stabilized, restructured. But here's the truth. You can manage decline. But rebuilding identity takes time. So Youngstown exists in between. Not broken, not growing, just unfinished. Number 1, Gary Suvi. Gary is the clearest example of everything on this list. Built to succeed. Then everything shifted. Industry left. Population dropped. Infrastructure couldn't keep up. And recovery never fully happened. What remains is a system that lost its foundation. Gary isn't misunderstood. Here's the reality most people miss. Cheap housing doesn't mean opportunity. Sometimes it means opportunity already left. And the lower the price, the more you need to ask why. Because the real cost isn't what you pay up front, it's what you lose over time. Time you don't get back, opportunities you don't see, growth that never happens. So before you chase cheap, make sure you understand what you're actually buying into. Because one wrong move, one wrong zip code, and suddenly that deal becomes something else entirely.